This presentation is on how a large airplane manufacturer can use the value chain to increase the use of rotable packaging systems. So this large airplane manufacturer is working towards having 100% reusable or rotable packaging. This requires having a value chain consisting of this airplane manufacturer, local part and assembly suppliers, local fabricators and distributors, and logistical companies that have a focus on creating value through rotable packaging systems. In order to create this value and maintain it, knowledge transfer is crucial. In terms of managing knowledge outside of data transfers, there are three main types of classifications. When it comes to rotable packaging systems, all play an important role in knowledge transfer and management. Human knowledge largely relies on experience. Since the airplane manufacturer, who is the consumer, specifies the packaging of their parts, they are the first step in creating the value and driving the need for these systems. Structured knowledge is usually explicit knowledge. For rotable packaging systems, cycle times, production rates, part protection, ergonomic guidelines, DOT requirements for hazardous materials, logistical company capabilities, and other explicit sources of information drive needs toward the type of packaging needed, the quantity needed in circulation, and so forth. Social knowledge is tacit knowledge, or a type of knowledge that is understood or implied. This requires strong relationships through the value chain, as groups must work together for designing best solutions. This knowledge is gained and transferred through continued work together and lasting partnerships so that best practices are learned together and understood. The concept of a circular value chain helps with the transfer of all three of these categories. It is important for all groups in the value chain to understand what drives the value of the rotable packaging systems and their part in generating more value through the closed-loop, cradle-to-cradle style system that is created. By using rotable packaging systems, shared value is created throughout the value chain, which is built on sustainability, trust, and transparency. When creating shared value, it is important to embed a social benefit into the value chain culture. The main social mission with rotable packaging systems is sustainability and diverting material from the waste stream, which often ends up in landfills. It is important for all groups in the value chain to have mutually reinforcing elements, which involve developing innovations to help solve social problems, understanding and defining social problems, measuring social and business benefits to justify additional investment, optimizing innovation structures, and involving stakeholders in co-creation and leveraging capabilities. By using rotable packaging systems, the airplane manufacturer can work with members of the value chain to address and solve sustainability issues revolved around waste. Since the airplane manufacturer will pay for and ultimately own the rotable packaging systems, they will measure the benefits versus single-use packaging to justify additional dollars going forward towards systems for all parts and assemblies coming into the company. When designing the rotable packaging or choosing an off-the-shelf solution, it is imperative that all members of the supply chain are included in the co-creation, as it must work for their business processes as well. Working with the part and assembly suppliers, they know their products and have certain needs for the rotable packaging systems in terms of part protection. By involving the fabricators and distributors of the systems, they can offer their expertise to reduce fabrication costs and can provide alternative design concepts or ideas to help generate greater value for all. Understanding logistical company requirements will also aid in the design of value-added systems, as they can be designed to better cube out or utilize the space in a trailer. Through the shared value generated throughout the value chain, each group will experience enhanced competitiveness as they gain greater business value. This shared value will also create interdependence on one another as the value chain is strengthened. In order to increase the use of rotable packaging systems, there must be inspiration from above and inspiration of confidence. This involves leaders in all groups associated in the value chain understanding what the end users, in this case, which is typically the installation or manufacturing shop at the airplane manufacturer, what they want in terms of functionality and zero waste, which could be things such as time wasted and material wasted associated with single-use packaging. There must be an understanding of mutual advantage for all groups and employees throughout the value chain. A common focus on social impacts, such as sustainability and innovation, must flow down from leaders in the value chain. There also must be transparency throughout the value chain, as this will help build confidence between all groups involved. When implementing and expanding the use of rotable packaging systems in a value chain, it is important to reward the significance of the relationships. Fabricators and distributors can provide discounts to the airplane manufacturer with bulk purchases or through continued business incentives. This could also provide lower cost repair for rotable packaging systems if they are diverted from just being scrapped. Part and assembly suppliers could reduce their piece part price as the airplane manufacturer helped eliminate the need for them to purchase disposable packaging, which is rolled up into the cost of the parts and assemblies. The airplane manufacturer could sponsor Earth Day inspired events, such as tree planting, which would involve all members of the value chain every time a certain amount of tons of material going to landfill is avoided through the use of rotable packaging systems. Since process times will be reduced or eliminated, such as the airplane manufacturer no longer having to unpack parts, dispose of the packaging, and rekit for the shop, part and assembly suppliers having to pack parts, palletize, etc., and logistical companies having to spend time optimizing their truck space, mandatory overtime for many employees working for the companies in the value chain could be reduced. The effective use of rotable packaging systems will create a cluster where the various groups in the value chain become interdependent on one another and work together to create greater value and improve each other's businesses. By the airplane manufacturer driving the need for rotable packaging systems and working with the value chain, they, as well as the part and assembly suppliers, fabricators and distributors, and logistical companies, should see increased productivity and efficiency in their processes. Increased confidence, speed, innovation, and agility will be generated as the cluster continues to work together with the use of rotable packaging systems. Through working together in the cluster, rotable packaging systems can help streamline processes and decrease non-value added waste related to single-use packaging. Thank you for listening to my presentation of how value chain initiatives can increase the use of rotable packaging systems coming into a large airplane manufacturer and how value for these systems can be generated.